So I'm going to read a little more from Eastern and Central Europe. Here, the history of Eastern and Central Europe. So it says, in this timeline of the history of Eastern and Central Europe, important political and social events appear on the upper half of the page, while the lower half charts contemporary developments in art and architecture. This lower section focuses on buildings and works of art that illustrate major historical trends and can still be seen today. They are described in more detail in the main sightseeing sections of the book. From prehistory to the early Middle Ages, civilization in Europe started in the southeast, with metalworking and clay firing techniques developing in the Balkans before spreading to the rest of the continent. Much of Central and Southeastern Europe came under Roman rule, while the northeast remained isolated. The collapse of Rome and the period of great migrations changed the ethnic map of Europe and hastened the emergence of nation-states such as Bulgaria, Serbia, Croatia, Hungary, and Poland. Art and architecture. Southeastern Europe enjoyed long contact with Greek, Roman, and Byzantine civilizations, which greatly enriched its art and culture over the centuries. The Romans were great admirers of the Greeks, and the growth of the Roman Empire spread Greek aesthetics throughout Eastern Europe. Northeastern Europe, however, largely missed out on these cultural links until the region's gradual conversion to Christianity, when Western art and architecture left an impact. So, in the first section, it says prehistory and Neolithic, right here. And 4500 BC, start of the Copper Age in southeastern Europe. 4200 BC, gold and copper jewelry is made near Varna, Bulgaria. 2500 BC, sophisticated earthenware is produced in the Danube Valley, most notably the Vucedol dove in present-day Croatia. Greeks, 700 BC. Greeks established colonies in the Adriatic Sea and the Black Sea. 300 BC, Thracian goldsmiths produced jewelry, ceremonial goblets, and funeral masks. So over here it says Roman Empire and Hellenistic and Roman. 168 BC, Romans conquer Illyria, modern-day Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, and Montenegro. AD 45, Rome takes over Thrace, modern-day Bulgaria. AD 81, construction of the Roman amphitheater at Pula, Croatia completed. AD 101, Roman Emperor Trajan completes the conquest of Dacia, modern-day Romania. And then AD 276, Goths overrun Roman territories in the Balkans. AD 305, Roman Emperor Diocletian builds the palace that still forms the centerpiece of the Croatian city of Split. AD 441, Huns invade the Balkans and Central Europe. AD 500 through 600, Slavs migrate in large numbers from their homeland on their Polish-Ukrainian border settling across much of Central and Southern Europe. No, Central and Southeastern Europe. AD 550, Porrex Basilica of Euphrasia, decorated with captivating mosaics. After the fall of Rome, AD 681, the Bulgars under Khan Aspara migrate into the territory of modern-day Bulgaria. 850, the Rotunda of Saint Donat in Zadar exemplifies the Romanesque style. AD 862, Byzantine monks Cyril and Methodius set out to convert Central European Slavs to Christianity. AD 880, a Czech state emerges under the Přemyslid dynasty with Prague at its center. 896, Magyars invade Central Europe, creating the state subsequently known as Hungary. 966, Mieszko I creates the first unified Polish state, adopting Christianity at the same time. 1001, Hungary accepts Christianity under Stephen, the country's first king. 1091, the Croatian royal line dies out, leading to union with Hungary. 1180, Studenica Monastery, founded by Serbian ruler Stefan Nemanja. 1201, German crusaders found the city of Riga, introducing several centuries of Teutonic rule in the Baltic states. 1219, Danish king Valdemar II founds Tallinn, the future capital of Estonia. 1228, Serbia emerges as a kingdom under Stefan Prvovenkani. 1240, Master Radovan carves the Romanesque portal of the Cathedral of St. Lawrence. 1261, Teutonic Knights build Bishop's Castle. And this was the early Middle Ages and Byzantine and Romanesque. In 1270, construction of the perfectly proportioned Gothic Old New Synagogue in Prague. The Age of Empires. The arrival of the Ottoman Turks had a lasting impact on Europe, wiping out the nation-states of the Balkans and replacing them with a multinational empire. The main challenge to the Ottomans came from the Austrian Habsburg dynasty, which won control of Czech and Hungarian territories before expanding south and east. For centuries, the dominant force in northeastern Europe was the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, but this was ultimately toppled by Russia, the rising power in the east. Art and architecture. In central and northeastern Europe, imperial courts and mercantile cities imported the very latest in Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque styles. In parts of the Balkan Peninsula, subject to Ottoman rule, however, artistic influences came from the east, and the region was almost totally excluded from the European art world. So this first section says Late Middle Ages and Gothic. 1282, the Habsburg dynasty establishes its first feudal holdings in Slovene lands. 1380. Teutonic Knight. No, it's over here. 1344. Works began on St. Vitus's Cathedral, Prague's distinctive landmark. In 1340, Ottoman Turks invade Thrace, gaining a foothold in Europe. 1349, Charles IV of Bohemia becomes Holy Roman Emperor, turning his capital, Prague, into a hub of politics, art, and culture. 1331 to 1355. Under Stefan Dusan, Serbia becomes the leading power in the Balkans. 1353 to 1391. Bosnia becomes a regional power under King Tvrtko, then falls to the Ottoman Turks. 1380. Teutonic Knights reconstruct Malbork Castle, creating one of the great Gothic fortresses of northeastern Europe. 1410. Polish and Lithuanian armies defeat the Teutonic Knights at Grunwald. 1415. Czech reformist theologian Jan Hus is burnt at the stake as a heretic, but his ideas inspire the development of Protestantism a century later. 1420s. Frescoes at the Manasya Monastery mark the high point of Serbian religious art. 1431. Birth of Vlad II, the Impaler, who leads Wallachian resistance against Ottoman expansion. 1458 to 1490. Reign of Matthias Corvinus in Hungary. 1463. The Ottomans conquer Bosnia and Herzegovina. 1477. Veit Stoss begins work on the altarpiece of the Church of St. Mary, Krakow. 1490s. Bernd Notk creates the dance macabre for the Nicolist Church. 1499. John of Gustav fills St. Trinity Church with vivid late Gothic frescoes. Okay. 1526. Ottoman Turks defeat the Hungarians at the Battle of Mohacs. The Hungarian crown falls to the Austrian Habsburg dynasty. 1531. Construction of Gazi Husrev Bey Mosque, Sarajevo. 1533. Ivan IV, the Terrible, becomes Grand Prince of Muscovy. Reformation and Renaissance. 1552. Moscow St. Basil's Cathedral, built to celebrate victories of Ivan the Terrible. 1561. Construction of Stary Most Bridge in Mostar, destroyed in 1993. It is reconstructed in 2004. 1569. Union of Lublin creates Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. 1600. Prince Michael the Brave briefly unites Wallachia, Moldavia, and Transylvania to form a state corresponding to modern Romania. 1629. Estonia passes into Swedish hands. 1680s. So this is the Baroque period. 1680s. Austrian military architects begin construction of Tvrda Fortress in Osijek. 1683. Ottoman Turks lay siege to Vienna but are beaten back by the combined armies of Austria and Poland. Age of Enlightenment, Rococo, and Neoclassical. In 1703, Peter the Great founds St. Petersburg. 1716, Vienna's sublime coral scourge, built by Fischer von Erlach. 1721, Sweden surrenders Estonia and Latvia to Peter the Great of Russia. 1716, no, I already read that one. 1754, Francesco Bartolomeo Rastrelli begins construction of St. Petersburg's Winter Palace. 1804, First Serbian uprising begins the process of freeing Serbia from Ottoman control. This is Industrial Revolution and Realism and Impressionism. 1812, Napoleon Bonaparte invades Russia, but is defeated by the elements, losing most of his troops in a disastrous winter retreat. 1812, Serbia is formally recognized as an independent principality. 1850 through 1870, Bulgarian architecture blossoms with styles imported from both East and West. 1867, the Habsburg Empire is divided into Austrian and Hungarian halves and becomes the Austro-Hungarian Empire. 1877 through 1878, Russia defeats Ottoman armies in Bulgaria, establishment of independent Principality of Bulgaria. 1878, Austria-Hungary annexes Bosnia and Herzegovina. 1885, Neo-Gothic style reaches new heights in the form of the Hungarian Parliament building. And 1897, Gustav Klimt and others form the Vienna Secession in a direct challenge to the established art world. So, the 20th century to the present. War and revolution destroyed the multinational empires of the 19th century, and after 1918, independent nation-states were re-established throughout Eastern Europe. With the onset of World War II, however, the region was first conquered by Germany, then by Soviet Russia, which imposed communist regimes on the seized territories. Communist rule collapsed in 1989, but the transition to democracy was not smooth everywhere. Yugoslavia, in particular, was riven by conflict before the emergence of new, internationally recognized states. Art and architecture. Eastern European art was at the forefront of the modernist movement in the early 20th century, before the combined effects of war and authoritarian rule disrupted its development. After the political changes of 1989, however, Eastern and Central Europe is gradually re-establishing its position at the heart of European culture. So, the first section says Art Nouveau, and then at the top, Age of Imperialism, and then to the right, Art Deco and Modernism. 1900 to 1910, Richard Jakobek, Ivan Grohar, and Matej Sternen spearhead the Slovene Impressionist movement. 1903 to 1906, Mikhail Eisenstein designs Art Nouveau apartment blocks in Riga. 1907 through 1911, Lithuanian painter Mikalojus Konstantinas Čiurlionis develops the quasi-mystical symbolist style. 1911, completion of Municipal House in Prague, a high point in Art Nouveau architecture. 1914, Gavrilo Princip assassinates Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo, sparking World War II. 1915, Kazimir Malevich paints his most iconic work, The Black Square. 1917, revolution in Russia brings Lenin's Bolsheviks to power. 1910 through 1919, the end of World War I brings independence for Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia. 1924, Soviet leader Lenin dies. Stalin emerges as his successor. 1928, Croat sculptor Ivan Mestrovic's best-known work, The Victor, is erected in Belgrade. 1929, Slovene architect Jose Plečnik redesigns the riverside quarter in Ljubljana. 1931, Alphonse Mucha designed sumptuous stained glass windows for St. Vitus's Cathedral in Prague. 1935 through 1938, Moscow Metro opens, featuring palatial stations such as Arbatskaya and Komsomolskaya, full of mosaics and frescoes. 1937 through 1938, Stalin unleashes the Great Purge, killing an estimated 2 million citizens. 1938, Munich Agreement allows Germany to take hold of large parts of Czechoslovakia. 1939, Germany and the Soviet Union secretly agreed to divide Poland between them, triggering World War II. 1941, Germany mounts a surprise attack on the Soviet Union. 1945, collapse of Germany leaves the Soviet Union in control of Central and Eastern Europe. 1952, work begins on Warsaw's Palace of Culture and Science, Eastern Europe's best example of Stalinist Baroque. 1953, the death of Stalin eases political terror. 1956, an anti-communist uprising breaks out in Hungary, but is crushed by Soviet tanks. Maybe I should stop there, or I'll just keep reading. I'll finish this page, and then that'll be it. 1961, Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin becomes the first man in space. So this all says the European Union and postmodernism. 1958. No, that was here. 1968, a period of liberalization in Czechoslovakia known as the Prague Spring ends with Soviet invasion. 1977, invented by a local mathematician, the world's first Rubik's Cube goes on sale in Budapest. 1980, strikes in Poland lead to the formation of the Solidarity movement. 1983, Romanian President Ceausescu orders the construction of the House of the People, now known as the Palace of Parliament, in Bucharest. 1984, in Belgrade, work commences on Saint Sava, the world's largest Orthodox church. 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev becomes Soviet leader, launching a wave of reforms. 1989 through 1990 follows the fall of the Berlin Wall. Communist regimes throughout Eastern Europe are replaced by democratic governments. 1991, Slovenia and Croatia declare independence from Yugoslavia. Fighting erupts between Croats and Serbs. 1992, Bosnian Serb forces begin the siege of Sarajevo. 1995, the Dayton Agreement brings to an end the wars in Croatia and Bosnia. 1999, tensions between Serbs and Albanians in Kosovo leads to the NATO bombing of Serbia. 2004, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Slovenia joins the European Union. 2006, opening of Kumu Art Museum, Tallinn's ultra-modern art museum, designed by Finnish architect Pekka Vapaavuori. And 2007, Romania and Bulgaria joined the European Union. So, yeah, that's a good place to stop. So I'll continue here the next time I read this book. Yeah, so it's a little bit from Eastern and Central Europe. Hope it helped you fall asleep a little bit. And thank you for subscribing and watching my videos and all the likes and everything. So yeah, hope it helped you fall asleep.